3, 2, 1.
You are now tapped into Unlocking Levels. Hosted by CL the Source. With special guest, Tarik Murray, the Sunryze King. Spiritual Techniques, Episode 8. Please like, share, and subscribe. Now let's go unlock some levels, y'all. Oh, welcome back to Unlocking Levels. I'm your boy CL the Source, and I am back with a brand new episode for those that have been tapped in and staying tuned in with what I got going on and just unlocking levels in your own life. Thank you for the support. And today I have the very first guest on Unlocking Levels since I rebranded this podcast. I've had multiple guests on podcasts before, but that was when it was Blessed Beyond Measure. But today I got the first guest, and today we have the honor of having my brother, my spiritual brother on here, all the way from Jamaica. You know, we've been connected for about 3 years now, and I've been a fan and an admirer of the work that this man has been doing. He's been inspiring me by shining his light as bright as he can, and I'm just so honored and thrilled to have him today, all the way from Jamaica, my man Tarik Murray, the Sunryze King. Welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you very much, my brother. It's such an honor to be on your show. You know that when I just started my page, you were one of the first set of persons to follow me and support me, and we had a conversation, and from that the energy was just right, and I always felt the need to keep a connection with you, and we are here right now, come together so we can share and spread light to the people on your platform and everyone that gets a chance to watch it. So I'm just really excited. I'm happy to be here right now, and it just feels so good to do the right thing.
Man, likewise, brother. You know what, man? It's crazy to even think that, you know, we've been connected for almost 3 years now, man. You know what I'm saying? You kind of started your journey. I wouldn't say necessarily your journey, but when you started your page, I didn't see that many people in the beginning. And then now you're at a place where you got like, I didn't even look at how many people, but there's a lot. And people are seeing what you're doing, me being one of them. And I'm just so thrilled to have you on here to finally have this after almost 3 years. Like I told you before we started recording, man, it's the universe's timing is always perfect, man. So we never forced it. We just waited for the time to be right. And now seems to be the right time, brother. Now, before we go any further, how you feeling, brother? I want to check in with you. How's your mental health doing? How you doing spiritually? Talk to me about how you feeling, brother.
Okay, so there's a lot going on right now in the world, but I understand that I used to let the things that happen into the world affect me because I'm a very loving person. From I was attending primary school in Jamaica, I received a Peacemaker Award. Now, children my age, they would laugh because to be peaceful in Jamaica, it's all about showing your roughness, how rough you can be. And so to be peaceful would be considered to be a soft individual, right? But the teacher saw something in me that no one else saw. He saw that I had a pure heart and a loving heart and a caring heart. So from a tender age, I think I was the type of person that always wanted to share love. And I was always searching for a way how I could incorporate others into my reality, because I always felt so bad when I watch the news and I see how much people dying, and I decided that there needs to be a change. So be the change that you wish to see, right? So my mental health at that time, I was really in a bad place. I was depressed all the time. And then I realized that if you want to change, you have to change from yourself. I had to change the way I was thinking. I had to change the way I was eating, right? Because your diet is also very important in your spiritual growth, because that you know that everything is energy, right? So when you kill an animal in fear, like in Jamaica we raise chickens, right? In a so when you kill that chicken and it dies in fear, right? The energy is still there. So when you consume it, you become fearful. A lot of people become fearful because you take on that energy, right? So we try to eat things that are alive, fruits, and keep a positive energy. So I noticed when I started to change my diet and I started to change the way I think and I started to read more, my mental state became a lot more better. I started to think differently, and I decided that people need to know this. People need to know that you are the change that you are looking for. You just need to look deep inside and know yourself, because a lot of people are scared of themselves. They are scared to even sit by themselves. They feel so lonely, and that's a result of not knowing yourself, right? Because I am my best friend, When I'm around myself and I can get to go into my thoughts, it's just it's so magical, because when you get to a level of consciousness, you realize that you are connected to the source of life. So you are an extension of the creator. So a lot of people, when you tell them that they are God or so forth, they resent it. But I'm not saying like you are the ultimate God. You're an extension of that source. And when you realize that and find out the power that is within you, you become so happy being around yourself.
Man, brother, that is such amazing, and so much in that first thing that you just said, man. And I just want to ask you, so at what point in your life did you kind of realize that, like, or actually, even better question, what kind of helped you realize that? Because I know that you said naturally you were, a spreader of light and coming from that purest place of love, right? But for so many of us, and I look back at myself, my brother, like I used to be so fearful of being by myself. Now I love my solitude, my brother. Like I love tapping into that higher form of consciousness that you talk about, that imagination, that creativity,
Yes,
right? That source, right? And that's where
yes.
like the best ideas come from. And I have the best time with myself. Was there ever a point where you were scared to be by yourself, or did you always just have that?
Well, there was a point in my life where I was scared to be around myself, because when I lost my mom, that was when things really took a toll in my life. In 2013, my mom died from breast cancer, right? And that ignited a flame within me, because I was so hurt that she passed off and I couldn't do anything about it. So I started to look at ways how you can prevent cancer, because she was sick at the time. I was the one helping to make like her natural juices and beetroot and stuff like that. So I was consuming it also. So after that, I was looking at natural remedies, ways how you can improve your health naturally. And then while I was on that journey, I was a Christian. I used to go to church. I grew up in a Christian home, right? So I was going to church after that, trying to find something in my heart to fill that void. Try to find back that something to replace that love that I had for my mom. But the system, the way how the church was constructed, it was not doing much for me, right? So I needed something. I felt within my spirit that I needed something more. So I had this pastor friend, right? And he would he would always tell me that he doesn't eat a particular way, and he would always tell me that he just thinks about things and they happen. But he would always say that he prays to the Most High. So when I look into it now and I started to realize that the more you meditate, the more you meditate and connect yourself to the source of life, is the stronger you get spiritually, and from your strong spiritually you become strong in the physical, because we dwell in the physical and in the spiritual as one. That is when you die. The word die, actually, it comes, the Latin meaning of die, it means to split in two. So the physical and the spiritual separates, right? So a lot of us don't realize that we are living in the spiritual and in the physical. So the moment I started to tap into my spiritual side, I become less fearful, right? Because fear comes from not knowing.
Mm.
The reason why a lot of us are fearful of things is because we don't know about it. When I was younger, I was scared to go into the sea, right? Because I didn't know what was under the water. So I was so fearful. Now, that is what the lack of knowledge can do to someone. Now, when you come into knowledge and you know things, you don't fear them no more. So I knew the things that I wanted to know that would stop me from becoming fearful.
Man, very beautifully said, man. You know, because I think, and I wholeheartedly agree, my brother. It's when we are in that fearful state, it's because we don't know. It's a lack of understanding and knowledge, and but for myself, like after hearing what you just said, man, you know, I think one of the biggest reasons why I was fearful of turning to myself was because I didn't know how to manage my thoughts, right? I didn't know how to, my thoughts would take me to some very dark places and I would never understand
Exactly.
why, right? But the
Yes.
further and further you kind of go in there and you kind of get past that initial barrier, you understand like how connected you are to that pure place. And then to be honest with you, and I'm pretty sure you agree with me on this, we got all the answers within ourselves, man. And if we
Exactly.
don't have it within ourselves, we trust ourselves to know where to find them, right? That's our intuition, right, my brother?
Exactly, my brother.
So,
Exactly.
it's I love what you said in so many different ways, man. And I'm already like visualizing um how people are gonna receive this because what it's gonna do, I feel like it's gonna shine a light on okay, why am I so distracted from myself? Why in the world am I so fearful of turning inwards? And when you kind of like I always make this example, Tarik, bro, when you're cleaning a room, right?
Yes.
Before it gets any more organized, it's going to get a whole lot more messier first, right? But after a while, you start to see progress. And then when you start to see the room get clean, you're like, "Oh man, I love this new space." And that's inside of us. That room is inside of us, right? And you start to
Exactly.
maintain it, take care of it. Now let me ask you, man, what does your diet consist of right now, man? I'm curious.
Right now, I'm mostly on a vegan diet. Right now, eat like mostly in the morning times. I consume fruits, and throughout the day, I would like more fruits, and just mostly fruits and vegetables is what I eat, and I drink a lot of sea moss. Yeah, I do a lot of sea moss and I do a lot of water. But that's just my diet for right now.
You know what, brother, and maybe you can help me out. I was planning on doing research on this myself, but since I got you here, can you talk to us about some of the benefits of CMOS because that's something I've always like kind of heard fairly recently, and I really would like to know more about it.
Yeah, well, sea moss actually contains about 98 of the 106 minerals that your body actually needs, right? So imagine like a motor vehicle now. You cannot put water into your motor vehicle and expect it. You cannot replace water for gasoline then, right? You have to put engine oil into the engine of the car for it to run properly. You can't put transmission fluid into the engine oil in where the engine oil should go and expect the car to run efficiently. No, that's the way our body. We need to put the correct minerals and vitamins that our body need in order for it to perform efficiently, right? Because certain food just don't do anything for our body overall. So the CMOS consists of zinc, protein, a lot of minerals right now. And when you consume it, it is good for almost every sickness and disease there is in your body right now. It improves your stamina, it improves your immune system, it boosts your energy if you're always feeling tired. It just gives you another level of energy, my friend.
Man, my brother, you know what? I'm about to go get me some CMOS today. I'm curious how is it consumed anyway? Is it like powder form or like I'm sure there's several different ways, but how do you consume it?
Well, for me, I get it natural from the sea.
Wow.
So what I would do is I would take it home, wash it off properly, and I would put it in some water to soak, right? And I would leave it there for over the night, like 24 hours, and then I would blend it in my blender with some water. Blend it in my blender, blend it up real fine. I would add a little nutmeg to it or cinnamon, and I would mix it with some honey, natural sweetener, and I would just consume it just like that.
Wow, man, that's amazing. You know what? Because I live in Hawaii now, man. So I'm gonna look into kind of because I don't even know how CMOS would look like, to be quite honest with you. You know what I mean? Like I have an idea, but like that's a great way to kind of do things, man. Like from my opinion, you know, like you're right there. You're so close to the sea. You might as well get it right from
Yeah.
the source.
Yeah, you notice I always shoot my YouTube videos to the sea because I just like the energy that I get from the beach, and it just soothes my mind and helps me to think properly. Yeah. I just like being in nature.
You know what, my brother? I can relate to that so much, which is one of the biggest reasons I decided to move to Hawaii. And being connected to the ocean and having that access to nature like that and the ocean, you
Yes.
derive so much power and strength from it. And then for me, what it does is just cleanses the spirit, man. You know, you detach from the grid, you detach from like the system for a little bit, and just really kind of, you know, again, plug into that source. I think that's one of the most natural ways to do it, man.
Yeah, most definitely. Because remember, the ocean has been here from creation, Some people in my country says the ocean is actually a spirit. You understand me? They don't look at it as just a body of water. They look at it in a spiritual form, because a lot of people go to the ocean when they're feeling depressed, and they would sit there, speak to the ocean, let the ocean know what their problem is, and sometimes when they leave, they would feel much better. So a lot of people have it as a spirit that they can go to and release their negative energy and replace it with more positive one. That's just a belief, though.
And a belief, and I agree with completely, man. You know, I think sometimes as human beings we try to rationalize things too much when
Yes.
really like it, in its simplest form, the ocean heals, right? The ocean provides
Yeah.
healing, provides energy that you really can't get from other ways, just because it's so natural. Like you mentioned, it's been here before existence, you know. It's like, so, and I don't know, man. Have you ever heard that quote from Bruce Lee where he's talking about being like water, being like malleable like water, and learning from water? And if you just watch and observe water, it's so you can learn so much, man. You know, I can spend honestly, man. I'm pretty similar to you. I bet you can spend hours uh just in the ocean, just kind of with yourself and just tapped into it, huh?
Yeah, man. Water. You just have to be like water, as Brucey said. Simple, shapeless, formless.
Yep.
Learn how to adapt to your environment. Yeah, for real.
Man, brother. You know what, man? Jamaica is on my list of places to come visit, my brother. What part of Jamaica you in?
Well, I'm actually in Montego Bay right now, but I was born in the parish of Portland, which is a very natural. It's one of the most natural places in Jamaica right now. Very low, very low crime rate. It has the most beautiful beaches, and I think that has a lot to do with my journey because I was brought up in the more countryside. You know, people that are brought up in the city are not that connected with mother nature. But we growing up in growing up in the countryside, we would me and my friends we would be always be close to like the rivers. We would go to the rivers when it's summertime, and we would take swims. We would be there all day. We would cook. We're in the farms, getting stuff to eat, getting mangoes, getting apples, just eating naturally like that. So I just think that had a lot to do. We were walking bare feet and we were keeping grounded, but we didn't realize what we were doing and how much effect it would have on our spiritual side, right? It was just the environment for us at the time, and it was just fun being out there, bird hunting. We would go out and said we would hunt bird and stuff like that. So we were just always in the bushes, enjoying ourselves, making camps, stuff like that. That's
You know, stuff that a lot of kids don't do nowadays, especially with these devices, right? Where they're just, in the house playing video games or on their phone, on iPads. I mean, technology is a beautiful thing in that it's provided so much. I mean, we're using technology to connect from thousands of miles away, right? It's a beautiful thing. But I also
yes.
think about the effect that it has on the youth and like the new generation coming up, man. And like you said, man, just like you grew up in that environment where it was so natural to you. But if you're growing up in like a more of a metropolitan lifestyle and you're on the grid so much, you don't understand how beneficial it is to be out in that environment, grounding yourself to the earth, connecting with Mother Nature, respecting the trees. You know what, man? One of the biggest things I love doing right now is when I walk in the park or if I'm taking a hike, I just stop and I put my hand on a tree and I thank it, man. I try to tap into the energy and I just feel it. And I close my eyes and I just thank it, man. And honestly, man, it makes me feel so great because I feel the energy, my brother. And I know you can feel me on that, man. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. A lot of times when I was growing up and we were in the bush, like if you're cutting down a tree, if you're cutting down a tree, it's like you can feel me. Well, for me, I could at least feel like, that's not right. I can feel it's like I can feel the pain from that tree. So we don't promote like harming nature. We always try to plant stuff always because even right now, I have a farm, but it's not active. But I grew up, I started my own farm. I was planting like bananas, I was planting coconuts and a lot of fruits and vegetables also because I was consuming what I was planting. It's more natural, no chemical, no fertilizer and stuff like that. But a point came where I had to leave and get a job, and the system got me for a while. But the greatest thing was that I knew, because you have to know to sustain yourself in life. You can't always depend on the government, because what if the supermarkets should close tomorrow morning? How are a lot of us going to sustain ourselves or sustain life? So in being independent, you have to know how to grow your own food and sustain your life. Just in case tomorrow the supermarket should close, we have to know to survive. So that was always a major part of my journey, knowing how to survive off the grid and on the grid, because I think I know how to live on the both side of the kinds. I can live in nature and I can live on the grid, right? So it when it comes down, it just comes down to all understanding, understanding what you want out of life. You understand me? And how you're going to do that is first you have to learn how to control your mind, because no one taught us that growing up. Like our parents, my parents and a lot of people parents that I know never sat them down and said, okay, I'm going to teach you how to control your mind. Went to high school, no one taught us that. No, that is a big problem that I see going on, because just like driving a motor vehicle, if you don't understand how to drive or maneuver that vehicle, how are you going to move from point A to point B? So it's the same thing with the mind. If you don't understand the mind, how are you going to be able to think about the stuff that you want to bring it from this point in life to that point in life? You understand me? So I always tell people, learn how to control your mind. How do you control your mind? First, you have to understand how the mind works. All right. So you have to look at your mind like your house or your apartment that you're living in right now. For example, you have many different sections. So look at the mind like a house right now. You have the bathroom, you have the kitchen, you have the living room, you have the bedroom, right? That is the mind. Now you have to you have awareness. Awareness would be like a ball of light traveling to all those different sections in a room: bathroom, kitchen, bedroom. Now, using the same analogy as your mind, we have different areas in our mind. We have sex, we have money, we have food, we have work. So there are different areas in our mind, just like a house. Now, the awareness is the ball of light moving. So me and you are talking right now. Our awareness is here. But if your phone should ring or somebody should call you right now, it's like the ball of light would move to a different section. So how to focus, how to control the mind is keeping your awareness on one specific thing for an extended period of time. No matter what happened, you keep it there. If it drifts away, if you're thinking about work and it's drifting to food, you bring it back. If it's drifting to sex, you bring it back. And now when you can keep your mind, because remember, energy goes where attention flows. And anything that you give the energy the most is what manifests in your life. Now, when you can keep your awareness on this thing and practice that, because remember, anything you practice, you become better at, right? So you practice that, and each and every day you will get better at it, and that is how you learn how to control your mind. No one can distract you, and you focus and concentrate, and you bring forth anything you want in your reality because you put energy on that thing, right?
Man, what you said is so powerful, my brother. And I really hope that whoever's listening to this, it doesn't go over their heads, because what you said can change your life. It's just I was visualizing as you were saying, it's like when I'm meditating, right, Tarik?
Yeah,
Sometimes your mind is like a wild horse, man. It'll go all over the place, yeah? And if you like, but the practice is to keep reeling it back, to anchor yourself back to
that
the
is the
present moment,
practice.
right?
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
So
that is the practice, my
and
brother.
like you said, right? The more you do it, the more you get. Just like anything, the more you practice basketball, you're gonna keep getting better at it, right? The
Yes,
more the more you practice bringing yourself back to center, bringing yourself, anchoring yourself back to the present moment, not letting your mind drift away, you're going to get better at it. And like you said, the more that you're able to focus on one thing, that's what's going to manifest in your life, right? That's what's going to, if you can sit in that energy long enough, you're going to become that. It's going to
Yes.
manifest presently into the physical world for you. And that's so powerful, man. And I love the way you said that and the example that you gave, because it's so true. And I think now I'm curious for you, man. Like, what are some of the routines that you have in your daily life, brother? Like, talk to me about like your morning routine.
All right. So like the routines that I would have is basically I focus on doing one thing at a time, because this is how people get good at being distracted, right? Because I'm talking to you right now, and when all right, if I'm talking to you, I should have my focus and attention on this conversation. No, a lot of people, they are talking to you, they are texting same time, they're probably watching a movie with you right there beside them, and they're eating. What are you practicing? You're practicing to be distracted. You're not focusing, right? So do one thing at a time. So if I get up in the morning, the first thing I do is make my bed, right? Because when you make a bed, it gives you the feeling to want to complete another task, right? So that's the first thing. Make a bed. And when I'm making my bed, I'm focusing on making my bed. I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm thinking about making my bed. When I'm finished, I'm going to sweep out my room, right? And I'm going to focus on that broom. If my phone blinks, I'm not thinking about who just texts me, if it's about work. No, I'm focusing on that. So, and then I get some breakfast, right? I would either get some coconut water and some fruits. Now, anything that I'm doing, I focus on it single. I just keep my focus on it. And that's how I get better at concentrating and being able to manifest the things in my life, because I'm not distracted easily, and I don't shift my energy and give it to things that do not benefit me. You understand me? So throughout the day, if I'm talking, if I'm talking to my girlfriend, I'm focusing on her, everything that she's saying, and I keep my attention there. So when I realize that doing this over a period of time, my concentration gets better, controlling my mind, where my thoughts go. Because if you can only make yourself upset, people, for example, I'm saying, like, if someone says something to you, try to hurt your feelings, you are the one in charge of your emotions, right? You make a conscious decision whether you're going to feel upset about it or whether you're going to be happy about it, right? So we have that much control over ourselves just by the way we think. And I think that is the biggest problem that mankind is going through right now, to be able to control their minds, right? Because you see, on a higher level of consciousness, Chris, you see, thoughts create. When I think of something and I visualize it, because you know about law of attraction and how it works. Because again, the mind is like the soil. The mind is like the soil, the earth, and the thought is like a seed, right? Now you take that seed and you put it into the soil, which is the mind. So the thought is the seed and the mind is the soil. Now, when you visualize what you want, for example, I don't know what many people would want, but I would visualize a life of being happy with my family, right? And when you add a positive emotion towards it now, that's like the water. So you have the water, you have the soil, you have the seed, and now you have the water, which is the positive energy that you are putting towards towards anything that you want to manifest. And then now when you have those three things come together, but a lot of us are very doubtful. Oh, the moment you say you can't achieve something, all the cells in your body, everything, your mind, you start to align and give you that reality. Then you won't be able to achieve it. Right? So you know that I'm going to share this on the podcast right now. Anyone that is watching this, you have a special ability, a power. Whenever I'm going somewhere, Chris, say for instance, I'm going to the store, right? And I want a parking spot. Before I leave my house, right? I think about arriving at the store. I close my eyes and I think about arriving at the store and I see a spot right there just for me, empty. And when I think about it, I do not doubt it. Hold on. There was a bike passing. So when I think about it, I don't have any doubt. I know that that spot is already there for me at the supermarket. And you see, when I arrive, it's there. It's the power of the mind. We have to believe. So I use my mind to do things on a daily basis. And I know that everyone has this ability, and I'd love for them to tap into it and be able to use it to their advantage on a daily basis.
I agree, brother. It's something we all have access to. And again, the more we practice it, the better we get at it, right? Of learning how to allow the law of attraction to work for us, speaking things into existence. I firmly believe it too. And now, there are a good majority of people that will walk into this part of the conversation and be like, oh man, like, I don't know if I believe in it, because they're so locked into the reality that's been presented to them. They've kind of lost touch with their imagination. And I think that this conversation is so important because hopefully it can remind and inspire other people to understand, like, you still have that connection to your imagination. It's there. Just wake it up. Use it, tap into it, believe in it, believe in yourself, believe in the infinite possibilities that this world and this universe has to offer, and anything can be real on this plane. And I see you as an individual that understands that believes in that fully, and that's making that work in your life. So I think that's a perfect transition to kind of talk into what Sunryze Essentials is all about, brother. First of all, tell me, how did Sunryze Essentials, that your shirt right there, you are the Sunryze King, my brother. Talk to me about how this got started, and tell us what this is about, man.
All right. So first and foremost, you guys can check out the Sunryze merch at Sunryze Essential on Instagram, right? If you'd like to get a shirt like this and support the movement. Now, as I was saying, if you speak to any one of my family members, they will tell you that I'm always telling them about the power of their mind and how they can unlock certain things if they just do this and do that. But I never took it on a public level. I came to America in 2019 and I came back to Jamaica. When I was in Jamaica, a niece of mine said to me that, Uncle Tarik, you know that you need to take this more serious. The things that you are saying, people need to hear. People need this type of energy, because I was kind of doubtful into how people would react towards. I didn't want anyone to label me as crazy for thinking outside of the box. So I always kept it within my family and my close friends. I would say, listen me, stop telling yourself that you can't, because you can. And I was always motivating them. And I had this friend cry to me one time that he was feeling suicidal, and I had a motivational talk with him. and he cried to me, and he didn't want to kill himself again. So I looked into what my needs, because the Bible says a child shall lead the way, right? So I I say I'm going to create a brand, because if I'm going to go public, I need this to be like under a brand that people can know. So I was at work one night. At the time, I was working as a security guard, a security officer at a resort. So I was doing a night shift, and I was on the beach. I was on the beach same way, and it was coming down to morning time. So the sun was just coming up. The sun was just coming up, and I looked into the sun. And when I looked into the sun, it's like a voice just came over me and said, "Sunrise. This is going to be the moment, but it's going to be a sunrise with a RYZE, like wise, right?" So I'm saying, all right, this is the name I'm going to work with, because I'm born August, and August rules under the sun, the planet. So I think that has a lot to do with it as well. But that was just creating the name, right? And afterwards, I started the Instagram, and I started to make videos. But really and truly, Sunrise Awakening was created to motivate each and every soul I come across to. It was to make you know that you are infinite potential, connected to the source of Most High. You have the power within you, and I'm here to unlock. If you are the type that thinks out of the box, Sunrise is the community for you, because we are the ones that we think outside of the box. I just wanted to create a online community that people like you and me, see, we're here together. You see, you are a result of the reason why I started this. I wanted to reach out to people all over the world that are like-minded, that are on the same journey like me, so we can grow. And I may not be the one to make the change, it may be someone that is a part of the community, you know what I mean? Because I believe in collective consciousness. The more people come together and think about one thing, is the faster it happens, right? If me and you are meditating on one thing, I just feel like it manifests faster, right? So I just wanted to make a change. I just wanted the people to find their true purpose, connect to their higher self. Because when I look on the internet, all is I see some people out there, but it's more negative than positive I see going on. And I said, no, man, if every day I'm going to complain, and say, I want a change, why not start with me? Let the change begin with me. And that's what I'm saying, Chris. So I had to be the change that I wanted to see. And that's how it started out.
Brother, that's amazing. And I support your mission and your purpose so much. And I agree wholeheartedly, man. The more of us that are kind of attuned and awakened to the power that we have within us, and we direct that together and collaborate together, the sooner we can make the world a better place for all of us, right? And I believe you're absolutely right, because it it has to start within us. The change has to start
Yeah,
within us, man. Michael Jackson said it, man. Start with the man in the mirror, right?
exactly. How can you pour from an empty cup? You have to fill yourself first, and then you can share with others. So if I'm empty, I can't give anything to you, because I'm empty. So the moment I fill myself with love, I can share it with you. So we have to start from ourselves. And right now, I'm at the point where I want this to be more than a virtual movement. I actually want Sunrise to become a physical movement where I reach out to people in communities, areas all over the world, and help them in any way I can. Physically, if it is, I don't want to do a charity thing, because a lot of people might hear the word charity and think it's like, you know, scam or something like that. I actually want to make it like more a community thing then, or a foundation where, because you have a lot of people going out there. I want to offer counseling. I want to offer sessions where you can learn how to tap into your higher self. You understand me? People that are less fortunate, that don't have clothes and food, I would look sponsor and stuff like that. I just want to help people, and I don't want it to be just talking. I want to go there with my hands and do the actual work, because I feel like I I'm on a mission, right, for the most high, and I have to do it, because if I don't do it, I don't feel good within my heart. Understand me?
Yeah,
So that's
because
the level. That's the level that I want to take it on right now, Chris.
yep,
For next year.
you're gonna unlock these levels, my brother. Unlocking levels, man. You know,
Yes,
and,
unlocking levels
and
right here on unlocking levels.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you know what that what you're talking about when you don't feel that fulfillment, right? That's when you're straying away from your purpose, right? When you feel a void and you feel like what does this all mean? Like why am like when you're unhappy in your situation, right? It just means that you're not connected to your purpose. But a person like yourself, you have a clear understanding of what you want to do, my brother. You just laid it all
Yeah.
out. You just laid it all out right there. So I know it's gonna happen. I know it's already it's in motion, right?
Yes, from the words you speak, the tongue, the power is in the words vibrate and a frequency, and they go out and it manifests into real life. This is why we should be careful of the words that we speak.
Yes.
Understand me? And before I forget, purpose is not something that is connected to a job, a title. It's not something that you do a test for. You don't go and do an exam for a purpose. Purpose is who you are within you, right? It's who you have always been, right? For me, I always wanted to be a footballer growing up, a soccer player. Maybe it's the soccer you call it in America, right? And
Yeah.
Hawaii. Now, the World Cup is going on, yeah. And so I always wanted to be a soccer player, but that was not my purpose. My purpose was helping people, right? That is why the teacher saw it from early that I was a peacemaker. That's who I was. I'm a peacemaker from my heart. Now, while I was growing up, I realized that football was not my purpose. I know I started Sunryze. Sunryze is still not my purpose, you know. Sunryze is a tool. Sunryze and YouTube that I'm speaking on with my videos, those are tools to take me on the path to fulfill my purpose, right? Those are just tools that I use. Now, the true purpose is helping others, motivating them. That is who I am, and that now you don't have to pay me to do that, right? When if you're seeking money or fame from what you're doing, it is not your purpose.
Mhm.
Money and fame should be a byproduct
Yes.
of what you're doing. So if people like what I'm saying, and if I should become famous, it should be a result of what I am doing, if of who I am from my art. Understand me?
You know,
So
Tarik, bruh, you said so
yeah.
many beautiful things right there, bruh. And Nipsey Hussle, man, rest in peace. Rest in peace to this legend that walked the earth. He said the highest human act is to inspire. And that's exactly what you just said right there. Because what happens is when we live our life in a way that inspires other people, that is how we can help them the most, by living and walking
Yes.
in our truth, right? Because what happens is we help them help themselves, right? Like by us shining our light as bright as possible and doing this work that we're meant to be doing, it shows other people. They'll be like, oh man, look at what Tarik is doing. Look at what Chris is doing. I could do that too. That is inspiring me. I can help myself. I can help my community. I can help those around me. And it sets off a whole chain, a domino effect, right? Of where it just
Yeah,
a chain reaction. One person, each one teach one, right? And it's just like,
exactly.
brother, we can have this amazing world. And I was just having this conversation with my auntie last night, brother. And, you know, we talked about the news and social media. You hardly see any good news on there. But I will say that for as much bad news as that's being pumped out there into the media, into the whatever source that people are getting it from, there's an equal or even more amount of great stuff going on in the world that just does not get televised, and that is
Exactly.
being done by people that don't get that shine like you and me, like every single day, and people that are doing some amazing work that I'm inspired by, that makes me stay motivated to keep doing it. And you being one
Yeah.
of them, my brother. I see the brand that you got, Sunryze Essentials. You got great products that promote holistic health and you know, just self-care products, all of these things that's going to help elevate your immune system, your brain health, your spirituality, and the work that you're doing is so important, bro. And I want you to keep going, brother, always.
Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you very much, because uh this is my purpose. And you see, when you find your true purpose in life, this is the result, because this is the reason why a lot of us are unhappy, because we're not living our true purpose. And if you're not living your purpose, you will become a part of someone else's purpose, right? You will become a part of someone's purpose, and their agenda is not always right. You get what I'm saying? So
1000%.
we have to know what we are doing, and we have to know what we are getting ourselves involved with. So I just look at Sunryze Essential as my way of making a positive contribution to humanity, right? And and when I do that, because you are a reflection of me, Chris. I see you as a reflection of myself, right? Because it's just like a tree, right? A tree that is planted in the ground. Now, when you look beneath in the soil, it has so many roots going in all different areas. But if you should say what? Okay, I'm going to pull up this tree. You should, if I'm going to pull back all these roots, they are going to all come back to one tree. That is us, humanity. We are all from the one source of life. Now, if you should all pull us back to the source of life, then you should see that we are all from the same tree. So we're just like roots of the same tree, experiencing a different reality, right? And that a lot of us think that's what makes us different, because you're in a different part of the soil, or you may be a bit further from the tree, and my root may be a bit closer to the tree. But using that analogy, you can see that it's just one source. So I have to see you as my brother. Even if we may look different, you are still an extension of the source of the Most High that gave you life and that gave me life also, right? So that's how I look at it. And if I'm trying to help someone, anyone that may be watching this podcast, and they may think that what we're saying does not make any sense, I understand, because you are just a reflection of myself on a lower frequency, right? You're vibrating on a low frequency, but you can still get your energy, because when your energy rise, you become conscious, and you will realize that what I'm saying is facts and not just fiction, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, my brother. You know what, man? And it goes back to what you were saying, man, in the beginning. You got to know yourself. You got to be able to spend time with yourself to truly arrive and you know, progress and make steps towards a higher consciousness and understanding of how life works. And you got to ask yourself these tough questions. You got to be brutally honest with yourself, right? And look at things from an observer standpoint, and understand and trust yourself and your intuition to kind of decipher what's right and what's wrong, right? And it takes a certain type of work to kind of get to that. It's that deep spiritual inner work that we do every single day in staying focused and practicing meditation, connecting to nature, all these different methods that we talk about right now. I know we're going to wrap this up in just a few minutes here. I wanted to give you an opportunity one last time. Like, is there anything we didn't get to talk about that you wanted to talk about before we get out of here, brother?
Well, for right now, I just want people to know that any information that you're taking right now, you should always try to research things for yourself. Don't always take another man's information as it is. If someone should tell you something, try to go and research it for yourself, because I feel like a lot of people are getting misled by a lot of things on the internet because they are a bit lazy just to do some research. You know how much things I realized that was not true that I see on the internet, my brother. And that's one of the ways they use to break down someone's credibility. Right? They put out false news. So I would just like to say research things for yourself, because a lot of things that we were told from we were much younger, when you grow up you realize that they are lies. Because if what a big example of that is cow's milk. They used to tell you that the milk is very good for your bones and make your bones strong. And that's a lie, because if you look at it, human beings are the only species that drink the milk of another species, right? The cow drink the milk from a cow. The horse drink the milk from a horse, whichever way you want to put it. But we are the only one that drink the milk from another species, and you don't see something wrong with that. You have to look into nature, to see how to really live, right? And then when you find out that milk isn't really good for you after a certain age, and the way how it is made, oh my God, the way how milk is made is also dangerous for your health, right? So Dr. Sebi said that the number one cause of disease is mucus, right? And I think that milk breeds mucus in your body. So take care of your health, research, know things for yourself, and try to find your purpose in life, because you don't want to be 65, 70, looking back at your life saying, man, I always wanted to sing and I never sing, or I wanted to do this, because regret, looking back at your life and regretting things is, I think, can be one of the hardest, worst feeling possible, right? So, and another thing, the work till you're 65 is another scam. People don't listen to that, because if you should look into accident and sickness and a lot of things that may happen to you before you reach that age, right? A lot of people die before they reach 65. So you're telling me you're going to wait till you reach 65 before you start to enjoy life. I would say change your retirement age. Bring it down a bit more to about 50 or 45. And then you would try more to work for the life that you desire, so you can get more time to rest. Because I don't think this 65 thing, it's a big scam. How can you enjoy life at that age, Chris? What you gonna do? And how much of us make it to 65? So I would say, enjoy life, because you only have one life. and do it the right way. Yeah, do it the right way, my brother.
Brother, you know what, man? I feel like we can make a whole episode on that subject alone because, bruh, like I'm just gonna leave it with this because I wholeheartedly agree. It's a trap, man. It's that's what they call it, the rat race, right? And when you get to 65, and let's say you have a pension and things of that nature, you're still struggling, man. Like everything,
Exactly.
so much changes in that time, and by that time you don't have as much energy as you did when you were younger. So how are you going to
Yes.
do all that stuff that you wanted to do? It's like, so some, like, there's a small majority of people that have benefited from that, right? But it doesn't fit for everybody, bro. Right? And
No.
that's why it's just like we got to do this work right now while we're still young and exuberant, and we can kind of understand, we can build what we're working towards right now, and do the work now, so eventually we can buy our time back. We can be free from that society of working that 9 to 5 job, and like you said, building somebody else's dream, because that's what we're doing. Like, we might as well take that energy right now. Like, right now, I'm not making a ton of money. I'll just be quite honest with everybody. I'm not making a ton of money, but that doesn't matter
Yes.
to me because I understand all I need right now is my essentials needs met, and I need to
Yes.
just pay my way, and I'm working towards my dreams. And you're doing
Yes.
that. I could see, bro, and we're doing that. And I see so many people that have made it to the other side, and it wasn't easy and it took time, but it's absolutely possible. And when you believe, and when you know yourself, and when you have a vision, you're gonna work every single day. Everything that you do matters. Everything adds
Yes.
up, and it's going to build that life that we envision for ourselves. Everything you laid out earlier about the work that you want to do, like going into communities, and doing the work, like, physically, it's going to manifest because you've already put it out there, bro. It's already done, my brother. Because you
Yes,
have
my
it
brother.
here. You already have it here. It's just now it's going to translate into the real world, right? But
And I love how you touched on that. And one more thing before we go, the power of words. Did you know, Chris, that there are a lot of words that we use on a daily basis that it either elevates our consciousness or it keeps us on a lower vibration. Words like I can't, I'm scared. You just have to remove certain words because, as I said earlier, the mind, the universe is for you. That is why they just spell it with a U, but it's actually you, YOU. It's for you. So the universe is always listening and wanting to respond in the best way to help you. So when you say things, right, you actually are putting, say negative things, you're putting a spell on yourself. You should stop it. You should say things when it does not look possible. I can do it. Remember, they always say, I can do all things through the Most High that strengthens me. Right? Yes.
yes,
So
sir.
if it's possible, anything is possible from the moment you think it, it is possible.
One
That's what I
hundred
want to do.
thousand million percent, my brother. One hundred
Yes.
thousand million percent, my boy. And you know what? Hey, man, I'm gonna wrap it up with this, man. We usually do like a little quick fire, rapid fire segment. I just want to ask you 3 quick questions, and I want you
All
to
right.
to kind of answer them. Um, take however much time you like, but try to give us like a just like quick hitter. So, what's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
The best piece of advice I've ever received is to enjoy my youthful days. Eat, go out, explore, meet new people, right? Take the chances, take the risks that you wanted to take, and don't live with any regret because for right now you have one life. No one has ever died and come back and tell anyone what has happened on the other side. So the best piece of advice I have is just live my best life and always put myself first. Right? It's not that you're selfish, but if you are not good, you cannot make others around you good.
Well said, man. Well said, my brother. Question number 2. What's one thing you could promote to somebody right now that can change their life, that they can do right now that can help improve their life?
Right now, what I would tell anyone to do right now to improve their life is change your diet. That's the biggest step you can make right now to improve your life. It will help you in so many ways. It will help you spiritually and physically. Changing your diet, you will visit the doctor less. And when I say change your diet, have a more alkaline based diet. Try to eat foods that are alive. Try to stay away from food that have a lot of preservative in them and shelf life, because this is why we can't live like we can live over 100 or live to the years that we used to see man used to live, because from the moment we're born, we're being injected with poison. The food that we eat have a lot of preservative, so and cancer causing agents. So we cannot get to reach our full potential because of, remember, every day you eat. So every day your your body is having a battle, right? So give your body a break. Eat more alkaline food and just stay healthy, and you will see how much that can do. It will change your thinking.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful. And it's such a very realistic and something that people can do right now, man. I love that.
Right now.
Yes, sir. And here's question number 3, final question, brother. You know, the whole genie in a bottle type thing, man. If a genie in a bottle came and granted you 3 wishes, what would your 3 wishes be right now?
My 3 wishes. If I could get a genie in a bottle, my first wish would to see all crime and killing to stop on this planet. I would love to see a planet that we actually do not harm each other, we don't kill each other, we're living in love. I would love to see what would happen in a world like that. And my second wish would just to be, let me think about this one for a bit. My second wish would be for everyone to be able to have access to get to know themselves, be able to tap in to that energy of self and self-belief, because all I see is a lot of fearful people that don't know themselves. So I would love for a lot of people to get the chance to know themselves, and I would grant them a wish for them to be able to know who they are. And the third one, I would wish for, I would probably do something for my family, like, I'm not sure, but I would want to wish something good for my family
That's
and the
beautiful,
people.
man.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, man. You know, man, and I I echo that. I would love to see all of that come to fruition for you and for all of us, man, because those wishes are going to benefit everybody, the collective, the whole, right? The one, right? And together we are one, like you were saying, man. You know, we're that tree that you were describing earlier, right? And connected to everything, attached to nothing, brother. And this life is a beautiful life, man. And you know what? I'm such a fan and an appreciator of the work that you're doing, and I'm praying for you, my brother, and just really sending you love and light and good vibrations all the way from Hawaii to Jamaica. And you
Oh
know,
my God. Yeah, man.
brother,
For real,
and
my brother. I'm just happy. I'm just happy I could get the chance to come on here, connect with you. Look how far you're in Hawaii and I'm in Jamaica. So it as I told you, I created this with a purpose, for this purpose. And for this purpose, I'm just happy. I'm just happy, my brother, because I see that my dream is actually becoming a reality.
yep,
It's manifested, And that's all that I desire, my friend. And I wish for it to become greater, both of us platforms, and we can inspire people. Yeah.
Likewise, my brother. Likewise. And as things progress and they start to become more real in this physical form, man, hit me up anytime. I'll come out to Jamaica. We'll do some work together, bro. And you can show me around. And likewise, whenever you want to make a move, I don't know where I'm gonna be in the future, because I'm originally from San Francisco, but I moved to Hawaii
Yeah.
about almost 6 months ago now, and I love it here. But my whole idea was to travel the world, man, experience and explore. So Jamaica's definitely on my list, brother. So tap in with me. We're gonna stay connected regardless of where we go, man. And be encouraging each other. And man, when the time comes, we will meet in the physical form and do some real important work together, my brother. This was important, and we're gonna take it. We're gonna unlock more levels in the future.
Yes, my brother. I truly believe so. But it has to start from somewhere. So this is the beginning.
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes,
This
sir.
is the beginning. And anyone that is watching this video and would love to be a part of the movement also can contact me and you and express their thoughts, and we'll be happy to take anyone on board to make this dream happen.
100%. Now let folks know where they can reach you, Tarik.
Oh, you can reach me on Instagram at _Sunryze Awakening and Instagram at Sunryze Essentials. And you can also contact me at you can contact me at Sunryze Essentials at iCloud.com.
Yeah, and also subscribe to him on YouTube. I see you doing major things on there, my brother.
Yes, definitely. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's Sunryze Awakening. I can guarantee that there's a video on it that you must can relate to. Someone that's watching this, you must can relate to it, right? And I do natural soaps, charcoal, turmeric. It's good for acne, liver spots, sunburn, rashes. It's good for almost every single skin disease or problem that you would have. Which one is it? Eh? Oh yes. And I also write motivational books as well, as you can see. So all those thoughts come from my mind, and I put them into a book, and they can access them. And I know that it will motivate someone. Definitely. So
beautiful, brother. Beautiful. And you know what, man? Thank you again so much for your time, my brother. I appreciate you being here. I look forward to doing more work with you in the future. And to everybody that's been tapped into this episode, thank you so much. I hope that you got some amazing jewels and gems that Tarik and I both shared. And thank you for staying tapped into Unlocking Levels. Peace and love, y'all.